You've spent 2 modules building evaluation fluency at ACC and PCC level, 19 behavioral statements at ACC, 37 markers at PCC, 2 complete evaluation frameworks with different scales, different thresholds, different demands on your professional judgment. Module 9 takes you to the top of the system, MCC BARS. The evaluation of artistry, coaching so integrated into the coach's way of being that the method underneath becomes invisible. Everything you've built in Module 7 and 8 is the foundation for what comes next. You are not starting over. At ACC, the central question was straightforward. Is this behavior present? You listened for whether the coach demonstrated a specific action at a specific moment in the session. At PCC, the question shifted. Is this behavior deep and consistent? You listened for patterns, for integration, for how well the coach wove competencies into their natural practice across the entire recording. At MCC, the question shifts again. Is the coaching so integrated into the coach's way of being that the methodology disappears? The behaviors may look similar on paper. The execution is unmistakable when you hear it. Look at the comparison on screen. ACC BARS, 19 statements, 4 rating options, plus NA, scoring algorithm with a 2.8 threshold, clear arithmetic, PCC markers, 37 indicators, qualitative assessment, no formal rating scale, professional judgment about depth and consistency. MCC BARS, 21 statements, the same 4 rating options as ACC plus NA, no algorithm. Fewer items than PCC, but a higher bar per statement. Notice the C1 row. ACC's 2 binary qualifiers do not carry forward to PCC or MCC. At PCC and MCC, ethics is assessed through behaviors consistent and behaviors inconsistent narrative lists. No numbered scoring. We will return to that in a moment. PCC's 37 markers trace the detailed shape of competent depth. You needed that granularity to distinguish good coaching from deep coaching, to separate occasional demonstration from consistent integration. At MCC, those distinctions collapse. The coach who demonstrates MCC level listening isn't doing 7 separately identifiable things. They're listening holistically, and the separate components have merged into an integrated practice that doesn't need itemization. 21 statements is not a reduction in rigor. It's a recognition that at mastery level, fewer anchors with higher expectations tells you more than an exhaustive catalog of behaviors. The MCC BARS resource guide names the rating options in this order. Exceeds the standard, an exemplary demonstration. Meets the standard, a proficient demonstration. Below the standard, a partial demonstration. Does not meet the standard, not demonstrated. An NA used in rare cases where the behavior had no opportunity to appear in the conversation. Same 4 rating tiers as the ACC BARS scoring algorithm uses. The MCC resource guide does not assign numerical positions to the options. There is no scoring formula at MCC. Assessors use the qualitative anchors directly. The pivotal anchor is meets. Meets the standard at MCC already describes mastery level coaching, exhibited with ease, naturally customized to situation and topic and client, with few or no hesitancies. That is mastery. The distinction between meets and exceeds is where the MCC evaluation conversation lives. The descriptor language for exceeds at MCC reads verbatim. The coach demonstrates the behavior with a higher degree of consistency, fluidity, and responsiveness than stated in the stated behavioral statement. The MCC Resource Guide elaborates with 3 behavioral signals. The coach exhibits the behavior completely, effortlessly, and consistently in response to what the client presents. The coach's responses are spontaneous and fluid and reflect what the client has offered in a unique way, consistent with the tone of the coach-client partnership throughout the conversation. The coach's style and interaction with the client are natural throughout the conversation. When coaching reaches that level, it looks simple. The simplicity is the mastery. Your job as an evaluator is to see through the apparent simplicity to the artistry underneath, to recognize that what looks easy is actually the most demanding form of professional practice. Ethics at MCC is not a numbered scoring system. The MCC BARS Resource Guide handles C1 through behaviors consistent and behaviors inconsistent narrative lists. Behaviors consistent, strong understanding of and alignment with the ICF Code of Ethics, consistently staying in the role of coach and using key coaching skills to facilitate the client's own insights. Behaviors inconsistent, clear violation of the Code of Ethics. The coach's focus is primarily on telling the client what to do or how to do it. Consulting mode. The conversation is based primarily on the past, and particularly the emotional past. Therapeutic mode, or the coach primarily gives advice or tells the client what to do throughout the session. The ICF disqualifiers clause sits in the candidate guides at every credential level. Identical text in the ACC, PCC, and MCC handbooks. Recordings may be disqualified if assessors find evidence of an ethics breach or evidence the coach more than occasionally steps into a role other than coach. The MCC Resource Guide is the level that explicitly enumerates the failure modes. Brief, momentary step-outs are normal in any session and do not invoke the clause. Sustained pattern, the sources primarily and throughout the session language, is what an assessor weighs. Coaching mindset, competency 2, is evaluated only in the ICF credentialing exam. The MCC BARS Resource Guide states this directly. There are no behavioral statements for C2 in any credentials, bars, or markers document. The MCC BARS Resource Guide names 3 considerations the evaluator may apply when distinguishing rating levels, particularly when the call is between meets and exceeds. These 3 considerations do not appear at ACC or PCC level. First, extent of demonstration of the key elements of the specific behavioral statement, how fully the elements appear across the session. Second, extent of artistry in the coach's responses and comments, creative, fluid, skillful, impactful. Third, extent to which the coach brings themselves and their uniqueness as a professional ICF coach into the dialogue. The third consideration is remarkable. It means MCC evaluation asks whether the coaching carried the coach's authentic professional identity. No other credentialing level asks that question. It adds a dimension that transforms what you're evaluating. The consolidation is clearest in C6 and C7. PCC had 7 C6 markers for listening. MCC has 3. PCC had 8 C7 markers for evoking awareness. MCC has 3, not because MCC cares less about listening and awareness, because at MCC level, those 7 or 8 separate elements have fused into a single holistic practice. The coach who listens at MCC level isn't doing 7 separate things. They're doing one integrated thing that encompasses all 7. The consolidation reflects integration. And integration is the hallmark of mastery level practice. Module 7 built your ACC BARS fluency. the precision instrument for evaluating fundamentals. Module 8 extended that to PCC markers, the pattern level evaluation of depth and consistency. Module 9 extends to the final level, MCC BARS, the artistry threshold, the 21 behavioral statements, and the most demanding evaluation exercise in this program. In the next video, we walk through all 21 statements, competency by competency. Some will feel familiar from work you've already done. The difference is the threshold each one demands.